Disclosure. Settle.
Oh! Oh, you last! Cal wins again! Blinking contest champion!
I can't even tell when you blink.
Cal can blink. Right here. Cal blink.
Not seeing it. Alright. Hi everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Disclosure album, Settle. Disclosure is a UK-based electronic music duo. This is their full-length debut LP. And these guys have had some of the hottest dance music singles of 2013. Period. Tracks like White Noise featuring ALUNAGEORGE, as well as You and Me with Eliza Doolittle. Tracks that have a slightly aged electronic dance music vibe to them. There's a lot of dance pop on this LP as well as bass music, garage and future garage. Believe me when I say that this is not just some kind of trashy On the contrary, Disclosure brings quite a bit of class to the table when it comes to four to the floor dance music. There's some very detailed production on this album that brings a very light, bouncy, playful mood. Now, if there is an issue with this LP, it's not going to be for everybody. It's good. It's very good. Just maybe not so good that it's going to bring in people who aren't typically into this style of music. People who are on the outside looking in on this album understandably may see it as no more than background music for a day of shopping at Urban Outfitters or Forever 21. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't worthwhile tracks on here. This thing is straight up dance music, and dance music that is so sharp I could see tons of tracks on this LP being very much worthy of extended mixes that get laid out on white label 12 inches, played by DJs in huge clubs to dancing hordes of teenagers. The 12 tracks on this LP highlight like two different sides to Disclosure's style. You have the very catchy dance pop numbers with vocal guests, and the more instrumentally driven tracks which have a lot of vocal samples on them, where Disclosure really gets down to business when it comes to groove craft and really taking a loop of music and progressing it, changing it, keeping it engaging from the beginning to the end of the track. This is occurring on songs like one of the opening tracks on here, When a Fire Starts to Burn, which features a pretty prominent Chris Rock sample, the song Stimulation, the song Grab Her, to a lesser extent the track F for You. These tracks feature kick drums on pretty much every single quarter note, kicks that are punchy but not all that resonant or very, very bassy. These kicks are just splashed with little baby hi-hats, watery synthesizers, and very, very resonant synth bass lines that sometimes are very nimble, jumping, bouncing all over the place. The phrasing of these bass lines at times reminds me of a lot of the bass lines that I would hear in acid house music from the TB-303, though I'm not exactly sure they're playing with that particular piece of hardware. Though the track Stimulation is a little bit of an exception with its bass line, which really rings out hypnotically. I guess my point here is that these tracks and many other on here are working with roughly the same sonic recipe. You're getting a lot of the same drum timbres, a lot of the same synth sounds, hell, a lot of the same rhythm patterns. However, Disclosure still manages to bring quite a bit of variety to this LP with some bold samples and a gauntlet of vocal guests. The track Grab Her has this really sort of goofy ascending and descending synth melody that plays almost throughout the entire track. It's a really fun groove. If there's anything about the song that sort of gets to me, it's that this melody grows kind of stale as the song progresses. Sometimes what makes these tracks stick out, or what makes them special, Disclosure repeats it a little bit too much, like the Chris Rock sample on When a Fire Starts to Burn. I love the track. I think it's got a nasty groove. I'm loving the synth on it, and I just think the sample is pretty funny, though I could see it really wearing its welcome with a lot of people. As far as the more dance pop tracks on here with vocal features, these are the songs that are really pulling people to Disclosure, really turning heads, and it's easy to understand why. Especially with tracks like White Noise with ALUNAGEORGE. This song is dance pop perfection. Explosive hook, which they build up to with some spacey synthesizers. I love that segue, and the synth bass line on this thing is so freaking catchy. or it's just a synth lead. Either way, it's very nicely manipulated to have a little bit of... As far as lyrics go on this song, and really all the songs on this album, they really have to do with love, relationships, lust, nothing altogether new. Yeah, Disclosure isn't really reinventing the lyrical wheel here, but I don't really think it's a hindrance to the album. I love the song Voices on here with SASHA KEABLE. Her performance on this song really sticks out, mostly because of how jazzy it feels in a sense with the melody she's singing. I love the way that she paced out her vocals so that she's singing a little bit, Disclosure brings in a very heavy bass line. It's a nice trade-off. I have to say, even when I don't really care for a vocal guest on one of these tracks, I still love what Disclosure does with the song. Track for track, I have to admire the level of detail, just how meticulous they are with every single thing they put into their songs. At times, the grooves feel ultra simple. You're just getting drums, you're just getting a little bit of synth bass, and then all of a sudden a rush of synthesizers and effects come in and thicken up the whole recipe, completely changing the vibe of the song, shifting from fast-moving groove to atmospheric stillness. Now, there are vocal guests on here that overwhelm me. Others underwhelm in a sense, like Edward McFarlane. His vocal melody on this track is just really repetitive and pretty boring as well. Nowhere near as dynamic or as interesting as the vocal performance ALUNAGEORGE brings to the table, for example, or even Jamie Woon. I'm not a really huge fan of his voice. Again, another vocal I couldn't pick out of a lineup, but still, he does try to bring more variety to the melodies he sings on the song. Overall, Settle is a mixed bag of dance tracks, but not a bad one at all. I think the only song I really disliked on this entire thing was one of the bonus tracks with Jessie Ware, with the really horrible vocal layering on the song feeling really dissonant and just unrewarding in every way possible. Some songs were a little much, others were not enough, but when this album was good, and believe me, most of the time it is great. The best spots on this LP are excellent examples on how to modernize house music's oldest and most foundational ideas. I'm feeling a strong 7 on this LP. If you've given it a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. This review is my opinion. If you don't like it, here's a straw. I want to give a shout out to James, Eric, Whitney, Hunter, and you. All mistakes were intentional. Only the strong subscribe. The needle drop. Disclosure. Settle. Forever.